Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renaissance was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renaissance isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori?
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just... Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still. No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know. sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Elton. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Water, here I come!
Rising Wyvern! You picked the wrong fight!
Shooting star! Mega ray! Thanks so much!
Here I come!
By the power of
You're mine!
We're not
Demon Fang!
Breath of life! Heal my weary companion! Breath of life! Heal my weary companion! Cure!
Rising Wyvern!
To be seen! No further!
Demon Fang!
Hear my call! Astral energy!
I'll find you with
Do without this pain! Double Demon Fang!
blood, rending you apart! Bloody howling! Armor won't save you! Radiant light! Force of regenerate! Water!
Try harder!
Another incantation ruined!
Rising Wyvern! Eat dirt!
Here I go! Got it! I'm on top!
Swallow Blade! Try this!
Down on the ground! Now we're not...
Be still!
No further!
You're mine! Devastation! Here I come! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'm going
You're
to need
mine!
to use all the
Sonic
power I can.
You may be strong, but I'll never back down!
Denied! Stars of light! Water! Rain down!
Down on the ground!
Sword Rain out!
That'll bring you down!
Ready to flash!
Down on the ground!
Demon Fang!
Lightning!
Ignite!
Down on the ground!
Reload!
I'll face you!
Dragon Form! Pass through!
Heal my weary companion! Cure!
Lightning! Downfall! I'm out of ammo! Not in your dreams! Back into the fray!
Resonate with the
Rising
earth!
Falcon!
Lightning raging cascade! By the power of
Rising
fear!
Wyvern!
In a bind?
Shockwave Flash! Rising Wyvern! Rising Wyvern!
Ready to go!
Blew away! Eternal devastation! This one's all mine!
Negative date!
Annihilation!
Double Demon Fang!
Eruption!
Eat dirt!
In the sky, it's mine! This one's
They
mine!
smite with blackened blade!
Raining Slash! Eternal devastation!
Hear my call!
Execution!
Slash!
Being interrupted!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Here's the evil!
Blew away!
Freeze Lancer!
Demon Fang!
I'll face you!
Big waterfall! First aid!
Cheating
Here
fire!
goes! Confiscated!
Pierce!
Radiant Pierce!
Dragon Swarm!
Lightning raging cascade!
Burn in hell!
Without a field!
Heal!
I'll be saving
I can carve through armor!
Try harder!
Explosion! Burning strike! Glacial
Try
reveal.
harder!
Here's the
in your
evil.
hands now.
Stay away from my friend! Here I come!
Healing circle!
Slash!
I'll burn it down.
Rising Wyvern!
Magic is down!
No
Freeze
escape!
Lancer. I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts
Dragon
now.
Form!
Denied!
I owe you one!
Begin! Death on the wind!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Radiant
Raining Slash! Crush!
I'm all stopped
Double
up.
Demon Fang!
Let them mark me
Down on the
this
ground.
one.
Anything in armor is all mine!
Lightning orb! Here! Photon dance in the wind!
Try harder!
Breath of life!
This one's
Heal
all
my
mine!
weary companion! Cure!
Burning
No further!
water! Here we go!
Ignite!
Oh, violent
Down on the ground.
Sonic Thrust! Sword Rain Alpha!
Lightning condensed! Water! Hear my call! Come forth!
Rising Phoenix!
What's in your hands now?
You'll pay for that! Double Demon Fang!
Lightning condensed! Thunderblade! Here's a healing arc!
No rest for the wicked!
Healing of purity! Searing flame! I'm all stopped up!
I'll save you, the flaming...
By the power of
Regeneration!
Regenerate! Lightning! Explosion!
I owe you.
Burning! Here's a healing arc!
Bronze and red! Penumbra!
I'll bring you back from this I never did! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
From
Here's a
beyond,
healing arc!
immutate
Lightning
this!
grenade!
Resuscitation!
Oh, violent guardian
In a
wind.
bind?
Carve now!
Not done yet.
Lightning! Crossblade!
Take it down.
Arc field!
Shine! No! Can't end here! Forgive me. This is my fault. I'm ready!
Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing bang! From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with light.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Boron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Dana are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
do it!
Too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Outfit!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah, and not...
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevrek 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out. Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrek 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dag Faisal with Hevrek 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrek 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions. Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries.
They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and—
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans and Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renaissance, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contests began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevric 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Everyone's just gone their own way.
Everything we thought we knew. It was all just a fabrication that the Red Women, no, that the Helganquil made up.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that Hevric 35 has told us, that is.
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind the fruits of Helgen too.
But if Hevric 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
No, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not. I think it just means we've lost our foothold for now. That's all.
Really? Well then, if we've lost it, I guess we'll just have to find another. All of us together. And if we can't find one, then we'll make a new one. End of story.
Make one, huh? I see. Right then. Count me in.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans and the Great Spirit and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down, and there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dan is still our home. There's no way we can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory... And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis, or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan society without any bloodshed. That is why...
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again, this time just as friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Thank you, my friend.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renin in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it, before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danon, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to hurting each other. Oh, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world, and it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Xion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Xion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Xion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Xion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Xion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is. Our mind.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegis, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renaissance stolen, Lenegis is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegis is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegis is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape in. As long as the whole satellite doesn't suddenly explode or something, they should be fine.
Wait, explode?
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lenegis. The people there will be fine, I'm sure of it.
Right.
you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit, and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational.
That's...
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns could be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renus Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony, considering that the Renus Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed. I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, Then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegis.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek 35 to talk?
Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. And with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrek 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details. So assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start.
When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegus when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegus proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Everett 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Shion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrect 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything
Listen,
that we've...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Shion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Shion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? We ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrect 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Faisal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrect 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude, until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see.
What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renas Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength, it's that it's sentient too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
we might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renas Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
What do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renans, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day...
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
I wonder what Helganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Put a pin in it, and you can do all the research you want when you retire.
I can think of worse things than a retirement dedicated to research. As for whether Rena is amenable to an aging specimen...
It's a little early to be giving it serious thought just yet.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Oh, we didn't say there's anything wrong with dreaming.
In your case, Dohalim, dreams have a habit of spiraling into something else.
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're too helpful to let retire.
Why do I feel this is less of a compliment and more of an ultimatum?
Just a friendly suggestion.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What? No! I mean... Wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not... hugely? Hey, Kisara, well, I've got you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hoodle.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hoodle!
Ow, ow, ow! Seriously, what the hell? You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zoogles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegis.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game. Our art is being interrupted.
A chain between heaven and earth.
Zestiria!
A wailing banshee of
Far
lightning!
enough!
Gemini Alpha!
Take this! Void blast!
Now, I'll be killing you!
Enough done!
One more!
Shoot us! Elusive fusion! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Double demon!
Get toasty!
Bird strike! Take this!
We natural
Everlasting!
It's
This gone!
by the power of water!
Burn in hell!
Gemini Alpha! A chain between heaven and earth! Power of flame! A wailing banshee of
In a
lightning!
bind?
Double demon fang!
Use all the power of my
Rising
healing
light!
word.
That'll
bring you down!
Finish!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alphen!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you! Celestial hammer! I'm preparing flame!
I'll smash you!
What champion?
Ready to go!
Annihilation!
Far enough! Blow away! Eternal devastation! Eat this!
Now!
It exploded?
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Will this help?
Photon
Sonic Drop!
Healing Circle! Thunder Blade! Chain between heaven and earth!
Take this!
Do it! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
Alphen.
I can't forgive them for what they've done, but I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danan slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. We have to stay the course.
I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegus, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renin Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. The Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years. No, even before that. Just how many people, Renin or Danin, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, oh, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
This one's not on!
No further!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! Fall into the
Shield from calamity!
Anything in armor is all yours!
I owe you one! Demon Fang! Come one, come all! Destruction!
Can you take it? Dance on the wind! On
Rising Wyvern! It's time! Void Blast! Air Pressure! Rising Phoenix! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alphen!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm ready to fight!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Down on the ground!
It's on! Pierce through!
Here's evil!
Stardust!
Freeze Lancer!
Rising
Dance on the wind!
Dance in the wind!
Dazzle!
Hit him here!
Down on the ground!
Lightning Rod! Glacial Spear! Here's evil! Freeze Lancer!
Be still!
Catapult! Ready and
Got it! Here goes Spread! Spread!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I wonder how the Renins avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danins?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renins have committed grave injustices against the Danins. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danins too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Xion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
This place is rather gloomy.
Why don't you lighten the mood for us while we're here then?
I'll see what I can do.
Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate.
I'm not so good with airports. I'll heal you all. This one's mine.
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
More Sucos? No
Keep calm and take them down.
You're mine!
Far enough.
Force flash!
You got company. Raging
Be still!
Do it! Winds of heaven!
Go for it. Prepare to crumble.
By the power of
Take this!
I'm ready! Far beyond the darkest
You're
cloud.
mine!
I'll bring you down.
Here I come! Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Lunar blast!
Blackened blade! Here I come! Burn!
Chain between heaven and earth.
Execution! On your
Now!
Shoot!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
There you go.
You're
Reinforcements.
mine!
Hurry,
Blow away!
Arctic waterfall!
Take off! Severing wind!
Between heaven and earth.
Save you.
Fierce evil! A wailing beauty!
Demon Fang! Destruction!
A whirling circle! Healing circle!
Victory is within reach.
Dig deep, and we can do this!
Press it further, little one.
You're mine!
Take this!
Stardust! Rising Falcon! More? Severing wind! You picked the wrong fight! Catapult! Sonic Thrust!
Do it. This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
You're mine! Take this!
Execution.
Blow away!
Spirits within the soil.
In the wind!
Carve through armor.
Air thrust! Lightning! A chain between heaven and earth!
Infernal current! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! More?
Spirits within the soil.
Rising Water!
Made one!
Rising
Come
Phoenix!
forth, the healing circle!
Merciful dash.
I can handle it.
On your
Now,
knees.
I need to pull myself together.
Dragon
Where
Swarm!
are you going?
I'm on a roll!
More?
You can fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
Rising Falcon!
Do not. Now,
Rising
look,
Harvard!
get toasty.
Bird Strike!
Reflect on
More
more.
astral energy!
Smite with
Take
blackened
this!
All
blade.
disasters made one!
Dragon Swarm!
Let them mark
On
the
your
nail.
mark!
Air pressure. Where are you going?
Here I come!
Stalagmite.
Pierce through! Try next!
Pierce evil!
Blending Flash!
Freeze sparkling stars of light! Rain down this
Here I come!
You a bloody
Dance to the
howling.
wind!
Resonate with the
Here I
earth.
come.
Rising Wyvern! Burn in hell!
Now.
Chill!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
Here.
More?
Into
Raging
everlasting
storm!
Rising
The
Gale!
No further.
Razor cyclone! Into the shadows!
Into everlasting darkness.
Rising Phoenix!
Here!
Rising
Awaken and wreak havoc. I can carve through armor. Merciful dash.
You're mine!
Elusive
Here I
deity.
come!
Rotating pile driver.
Far enough.
You're mine! Swordman Alpha!
Free you of your
Blow away!
Dispatch.
Eternal devastation! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Where are you going?
Here I come!
Blackened
More? Flash! Take it!
Now we're not.
Take this! Ignite! More?
Negative gate.
On me!
I can't imagine what we do without you, Manuel. Who, me?
In a
That's a little
bind.
much, don't you think?
I'm ready.
I'm serious. You're a
Astral energy! Full throttle!
flawless victory.
Lightning Thrust!
Naturally.
Rising Pixar! Rising Falcon!
Bloody
Force Flash!
spirits within the soil.
Dance in the wind! Here you go! Dragon Swarm! Sonic Thrust! Rain down and purify all!
You're mine!
Tempest!
Catapult! We did it!
As impressive as always.
Ah, here I hope that isn't true, Sonic.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
Soaring blast!
Take this!
Now we'll
Devastation!
I'm ready!
Jocelyn!
Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Power of flame!
Rising Water!
Certainly not.
Ready and ready!
Be still! Rising Sun!
Can't get out of this!
Do it! Roar! Astral energy!
Say no more!
I can feel my precision improving.
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're native to Rena? Or could they be Zoogle somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourselves around them. You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
If that's true, then if we go down, we should find the Great Spirit at the bottom.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Water, hear my call! Now you see what I can do!
These things really get on my nerves.
We got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours! Try this!
By the power of flame! Elusive deity! Soaring blast!
A whirling circle! I never miss! Wings of
Soaring
heaven!
Light Spear!
Demon lash!
We did it!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was improved.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
Negative gate! Ready and ready!
Eternal Devastation!
Do it! Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing bang!
Swallow Blade!
Bringing you a bloody
It's in the sky and mine!
Lunarondo!
Sleep now! Radiant appear! Now! I'm out of ammo!
Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Rising Water!
Certainly not.
Take this! Here I come! Tear!
Annihilation!
Dragon Swarm!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Explosive Ring!
Now! Frozen!
Hammer!
I must keep striving.
You can ease off yourself.
Pot calls the kettle black.
Good advice for all of us, to be honest.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Light Astral Cascade!
Not today!
Can you take it?
Coming through!
Breath of life!
These
Feel
ones
my
can
lyric
run
can
through the
powered
round.
up! Cure! Thanks! I'll smash you!
Double Demon!
I'm ready! Take! Blow them away!
Lunar Corruption!
Dragon Swarm!
Where are you going?
Sonic Thrust!
Whirling struggle!
Sonic Thrust!
This
one's all mine!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And pummeling to me! Take this!
Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil! Lightning Orb!
I'm ready!
Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing bang!
Lightning! Water!
They smite with blackened
Water!
blade!
Hear my call!
Ether!
Spread! Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil!
Resonate with the earth!
Shovel Strike!
Demon
Now!
All yours, Kisara!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish this.
I can carve through armor!
Resurrection!
Power surges through me!
I'll be saving Lunar Corruption!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Lightning Orb! Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky!
This won't be easy.
Can't get
Don't
out
be
of
such a
this!
pessimist.
Rising Falcon!
Radiant
You're mine!
Pierce! Two heads piercing the raven fair!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
To me!
I owe you one. Another incantation ruined.
Glacial spear!
Regenerate! Being interrupted. I can carve through black and Prepare to be seized!
Where are you going?
You're mine! Execution! On your
Now!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Certainly not. Take this! Severing wind!
Great healing storm!
I owe you one. Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
By the power
Containing Pile Driver!
Leave the charges to me!
I need something.
You need to be healed.
Now the mighty have fallen.
I'm all set.
Radiant Grip! Elusive deity! Won't save
More
you!
for the stockpile.
Can't get out of this! Rising Wyvern! Penumbra!
Radiant Cyclone! Now for something special.
Easter!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that is improved.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Sion actually look flustered.
Magic Blast! Heal!
Seismic
Show you what my heart can do.
Flaming Thrust! Rising Falcon!
Here's the healing art! First aid!
No, let me take it! Root of
Far enough!
Elusive deity! It's time! In a bind? Sword Rain Alpha!
First aid!
Blow away!
Too much to handle?
Now you see what I can do! Damn it! You better go on the fight! Catapult!
Finish without a trace!
Tempest!
Not on my watch!
You're mine! Slash! Shine!
Standing form!
Demon Fang! Shine! Radiant light! Swirl! Regenerate! Sonic Thrust! Okay, here I go! You must be tired of killing me. I'm merely doing what I can. Glad you're on us.
I'll heal you all!
Dragon Swarm!
Everlasting!
I owe you one. I'll grind you into dust!
Radiant Light!
You're mine! Try this!
Denied!
Can't get out of this! Rising Falcon!
On your blade inside me!
Yours to be let free!
This'll come in handy!
Double Demon Fang!
Water won't save you!
Crunch in the soil! Ignite!
Red! Tempest Ball!
Sword Rain Alpha!
There you go! Don't let them rain! Now! Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Well, looky here!
The design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphin. I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Why'd you...
To stop you dying?
Being interrupted.
I think I'll have what the hand without a trace.
Radiant Slash!
Now through all.
Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha! Blow away! Double Demon Fang! Eagle Ray!
I can handle it. Maelstrom!
Eternal Devastation! I'll burn it all!
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
Where are you going? There you go! Don't let up! Blazing by the power of flame! Now, here's a healing art!
Keep charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Awaken and recapture! No! Can't end here!
Don't give up!
It's time!
What would I do
No
without
further!
you? Light shattering illuminate the darkness! Come forth, holy glimmer!
Dance on the wind!
I'll bring you back from death between heaven and earth!
Awaken and
A
recapture!
wailing beauty of lightning! Sealed! Freeze blast! Get out of here!
Soaring light spear!
Breaking orb!
Back you blade!
It looks like you got this one covered! I'll heal you all! Illuminate!
Burn in hell!
Sorry to trouble you.
Rising Wyvern! Void blast!
Xion! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Hold up! Is this as valuable as I think it is?
These structures don't look like anything built by the Renans, or even what we saw in the Forbidden Zone.
Perhaps this is the true architectural style of the Helganquil. Or perhaps the opposite, given their situation.
You mean like how some places favor building stuff with stone, while others rely on wood?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I'll have to inquire with Hevrecht 35 about it sometime.
This won't be easy.
Don't be such a pessimist!
Can't get out of this!
Double Demon Fang!
Slash!
Fall into the
That buzzing is driving me mad! On your
Double Demon Fang!
Water!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Alpha!
The flame inside me! Here! Be let free!
Burn!
Ready to go!
A wall to shield from
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Holy land!
Rising Wyvern! Stardust! Rising Disc!
In a bind?
Burning?
Take it!
Here's evil! Rain down and
Sword Rain Alpha! Raining Slash!
meteor strike! Heaven and earth! Here's evil! Lightning!
Here I come! Devastation!
Anything in armor is all mine!
I'll
Blood! Rending you apart!
Sleep now!
Rising Wyvern!
I'm ready!
Double me! In an instant!
Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed rope.
Soaring Light Spear! You picked the wrong fight!
By the power of rage!
Excellent technique. How are your weapons holding up?
this!
Best not to give me any ideas.
As impressive as all.
And here I hope that wasn't...
With this, I can become even stronger.
Brace yourself! This one's tough!
That'll bring you down!
Rising Wyvern!
Grant me the strength to march
Rising
on!
Feet!
Lion!
Lunar Rondo! Rising Phoenix!
Back into the fray!
Ready and ready!
Sonic Thrust! Soaring Light Spear!
Armor won't save you!
Now!
You're on!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
A flawless victory.
Take that!
Smite with blackened
Rising
blade!
Falcon!
Freeze Thunder Field!
Execution!
Raging
Your
Cascade!
blade moves like silk.
Now!
That is what my...
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
I can feel my power growing!
I have a bad feeling about this.
Swallow Blade! Rising Wyvern!
Careful! Press the metal camouflage!
Ignite!
Nothing gets by me! Denied!
Pierce through! Coming through!
Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! No further! I'm not done!
Rise and shine!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Radiant Flash!
Raging lightning!
blood.
Rending you up! Rising Wyvern!
Lightning!
Soaring Light Spear! Vacuum Blade! Demon Fang! Crush! Eternal Devastation!
Radiant
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Meteor Storm! One more time!
Force of regeneration!
And here!
Luna Rondo!
Regenerate! Burning Strike! Glacial Spear!
Dragon Form!
Freeze Laser!
Explosive Ring!
Nothing gets by me! Let them die sting. They
In here!
take this! Here I
Lunar
come!
Corruption!
Lunar!
Lunar Blast!
This is bad, right?
Yes, Alvin! Very bad!
I don't feel so good.
No more playing nice!
Cure!
Let me free you of your
Corruption!
being interrupted.
Thanks, Kisara!
No further. Stay away from my friend! The flame inside me yearns!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Out of the woods, it seems.
Will this help? Shining Super! Dance in the wind! Healing time! I never marry!
Sorry,
You do the same for me.
Eat this!
Pile driver!
Resuscitation!
Blade!
Lightning! I
This
still
should
got
do it on the
my
ground! You're mine!
Finish without a trust!
Adversity is said to be the best motivation. I'll smash you! You'll find no mercy.
Rising!
Stars of light! Rain down in pure
Take
Be
this!
still! Rising Falcon!
Take this!
Take this!
Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision! Catapult!
Lightning
Strong on the cloud!
Illuminate the
Lava Blade!
Dance on the wind!
Breathe astral energy!
Say no more!
So I still had room to grow.
Those thorns.
I'm not letting them get in our way!
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it. Yourself. This one's out!
Pierce me
Run! Flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Fall into thy
It's up!
Insects should stay on the ground.
Here I go!
Ready and rare! Mega ray!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Prepare to be sealed, those fleet of foot.
Now!
Perhaps found is more appropriate.
Unlocking astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
I'll take you all on! Demon Fang!
Searing flame! Field! Reload! Damn it!
Destruction!
Resonate with the...
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Spear through!
Cyclone!
Soaring Light Spear! Dead!
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
To achieve such harmony.
Takes a singular will.
really bad feeling about this.
Double demon fang! Not today! This one's all mine!
A wall
to shield from calamity. I can carve through. Damn it! Not today! Can't get out of this! You're mine! I'm not done!
Do it!
This engulfs you!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done! Rise and shine! Air
pressure!
Blood!
Double demon! Bloody hell! Destruction!
A wailing baby of lightning! Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
This one's tough!
Annihilation! Freeze Lancer! Dance in the wind! In here!
Armor won't stick up! Prepare to be seized!
By the power of water!
Shine!
Radiant light!
Regenerate! Regenerate! Okay, here I go!
Lunar blast!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Denied!
No dawn shall break this night! Sharply blast!
I call
Captivity!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Into the shadows! Alright, Radiant, it's showtime! Damn it!
Ready and ready!
Back into the fray!
No further! Swallow Blade!
Lunar corruption!
Armor won't save you!
Lunar blast!
Stop!
Illuminate
You're
the
mine!
to use all
I'll
power
take you!
like holy water to accomplish it!
Catapult! Crush! It's done!
Oh, violent starting wind! Water, hear my
Rage.
crosswind!
Heal my weary
Denied!
Everlasting dawn! Negative gate! Not today! Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision!
I'll heal you
Double
all!
Demon Fang!
The waters of creation!
I couldn't make it in time.
From
beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with resuscitation.
Annihilation!
It's not done yet.
Burning
I'll
strike!
smash you!
Glacial
Take
spear!
this!
Fierce evil!
Soaring Grinwell! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Looks like it could be worth something.
Don't get careless!
Don't take me! Win! Okay, here I go. Rising Sun!
That'll bring you down!
Down on the ground! Rotating pile driver! Rising Warrior! Grant me the strength to march on! Come and face me!
Illuminate the spear!
Sonic Rush!
Holy
Denied!
A wailing
I owe you one.
Kisara, frozen!
Hammer! Elusive blade inside me! Yours to be let free! You picked the wrong fight!
Now!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Radiant Radiant! Now see what I can do!
A pain Do it! Away! Astral energy!
Say no more!
We managed to pull through.
Don't get careless!
Grant me the strength tomorrow! Don't tell me!
Take
this! Shockwave
Fall into the
Your reflexes will not serve you well,
Damn it!
Find freezer! What if they took your still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Too fast! Fantastic! I'll trade it out.
Between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning! Shadows!
Shattering of pieces! Attack time! Rising water! Being interrupted. You're mine! Burn in hell! You require a head. Rotating pile driver! Glacial
Here I come!
Here's evil!
I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Shot!
Glacial well done! Pierce evil!
Take this! We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left!
Right! No time to hold back!
Struggle! Winds of heaven! Burning! Strike! Cyclone!
Rising Wyvern!
Burning strike!
Flaming Thrust! Rising Falcon!
Nothing gets by me!
As impressive as always. No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
My exploits are bearing fruit.
I've got a really bad feeling about this!
Forgive me. This is my...
Concentration! Healing!
Not a beast hunting anyone. Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah, and the pummeling to me. This looks nice and tough.
This won't be easy. Don't be such a pessimist.
Incantation ruined.
My natural defenses are fading.
Can't get out of
I'm a
this.
sitting duck.
Retreat from this battle.
Retreat? I would never.
Why'd you heal me?
To stop me dying?
Where you go, I'll run you into dust.
Behold, the Earth pulse. Tectonic fission. Let me free you.
Rising Wyvern!
Being interrupted. Reflect running blast. Let me free you of your
Not on my watch. Illuminate the
shine. Radiant light.
Demon Bang!
Swallow blade. Between heaven and earth.
In a bind.
A wailing banshee of lightning.
I'm gonna need
Show
more
them
of
what
that
my art can do. Rise and shine.
Take this!
Ready?
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno! I'm gonna need more of that medicine.
Ignite you.
Annihilation. By the
Armor
won't save you! Everlasting dark! Rising wyvern! Leave the charge! Far enough! A wailing dancing dragon cut! Explosive ring! Take this! Rotating pile driver! Take this! Rising wyvern! Shine! Radiant light! Boost of regeneration! Get on in there with regenerate! Thanks! Take this! One at a time! Sword ring alpha! Raining slash! Demon tag! Burn! Take this! Down on the ground! I'll smash you! Raining slash! Eagle ray! Demon tag! Penumbra! Rotating pile driver! There! Demon tag! Double demon! Ready to go! Destruction! Denied! By the power of the
You require
in a bind! Raining slash! Demon tag! Releasing deity! Rotating inside me! Sure! Direct string! Demon tag!
rage.
Demon tag!
Death shall not be.
Soaring blast!
Air throw! I'll heal you all!
Do it!
Get toasty!
Bird strike!
We may be a touch beyond our depth.
We barely got a look at the thing.